This video is more recent. This is like, well, it was probably closer to the video that he did because he releases his podcast clips with some days in delay, but it's a little bit more recent than the other one. And I'm very curious to this because I have heard that there's not that many people playing. Like I had a conversation with Q, who's my friend that plays World of Warcraft. Queer NL, you've seen him in chat here. I had a conversation with him, and those of you who were here the day that we talked a little bit, even just through the stream, on the day of the 9.1 patch, he unsubbed from WoW. On the day of the patch. So like when Blizzard released the new content, he was so disappointed in what that content was, he unsubbed from World of Warcraft. His sub only lapses in like October or something like that, so he still has an active subscription because he was subscribing by the 6 months or whatever. But he unsubbed the day of, which is ridiculous. And he told me that it's basically empty, like nobody in the guild was playing. I don't even know if he's done the raid. I've been trying to talk to him, but he's been too busy. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see what this is about.
We got from Dastil, who said, maybe it's just me, but patch 9.1 didn't really hype the game up as patches usually do, which is Blizzard's fault in my opinion. Hardcore WoW players opening up to new MMOs. Is the camel back breaking? Yeah, you know, I think it's just with 9.1's not a massive patch, and I think it has a bunch of lore and stuff the players don't feel that connected to, and I think that's why the hype isn't there. And I think that's because as much as people care about Sylvanas and Anduin and stuff, we don't know Zoval. We don't really know exactly what he wants. We don't know his motivations. We know he betrayed his brethren, but we don't know why. We don't really know any of the specifics. So we basically have our, you know, we know more about our villain's henchman than we know about our villain. And I think that.
But did you buy the book though? You didn't buy the book. You didn't read the book. Then you don't know. See, this is why you can't care about World of Warcraft lore. You should read the book. Just buy the book. That's all. It's like this is one of those problems that I talked about when people were saying that, like, oh my God, Shadowlands' questing experience is so amazing, and I'm just like, dude, you guys have some really low standards for the way Blizzard tells story. If you think that, you know, the storytelling in Shadowlands is amazing, the storytelling in Shadowlands was atrocious, and here's the result: people don't care. People just straight up do not care. Like, even from the beginning, when Sylvanas just bitch-slapped Bolvar, people are just like, what? Because nobody knew. Nobody cared. Because none of this is told in game. Literally none of it is told in game. It's just like, read the book. Read the novel. More like, watch the novel videos, since he's doing the work that Blizzard isn't doing in Bellular's videos. Noble and Bellular are the ones doing the work that Blizzard should be putting in the game. Then you would be able to get people to actually care about this stuff.
That just means that the stakes. We know they're big, but we don't know what they mean. We don't know what they mean for Azeroth. I mean, I'm sure he wants to consume the soul of our world, but like, I don't know. Well, is he going to get to the Sepulchre of Knowledge, get some First Ones technology, remake the universe? It's like, we don't know. You can put some things together, obviously, if you speculate and look at the hints, but not in a way where your average player is going to see Zoval in a trailer and think, oh my God, this is happening, this is going down.
Yeah, it's really...
I don't even know who Zoval is.
It's kind of like a lot of the discussion around 9.0's problems cropped up very late. 9.1 came in also very late to kind of counteract that flow, so it couldn't. So we've got this like wave of negativity coming from a lot of places. And then 9.1's also just kind of lackluster in exactly those ways, where it's like, nothing in this is going to really excite people.
Yeah.
It is like, if I were to describe how I see overall sentiment for 9.1 from the community, it is more content. All right.
Yeah.
But then it's obviously marred by launch issues, the week one being Korthia, which is full of bugs and has, you know, some design issues, etc., etc., etc.
Compared to the trailer of patch 5.4, and I think everyone will feel why.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, even 7.3.
So Korthia is full of bugs on top of it, so it's not enough that this patch is fucking a million months late on top of it. It's coming in hot and chock full of bugs? Are you serious?
Yeah.
10.3 was like, I mean, people might not have completely understood what Argus was or what was going on, but it's still just like, whoa, there's a big leap forward. But, you know, it was like, you're going to defeat the Burning Legion. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
That means that means a lot to me after 6 expansions. That's huge.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you're going to fight the Sylvanas who's working for the jailer. You're like, who? It's been 7 months. I still.
Yeah, so that's the issue. We got from Dark Soul 9669, who said, "I get why Bell doesn't do things he doesn't want to, but I feel if it is easily done / grinded, you should if it'll help a group. I don't want to do a lot of 9.1, so I'm not playing. I think this needs to be weighted more." Yeah, you know. So my thinking there has always been, if my performance dips to the point where it is now actively harming my group, then I absolutely will do those extra things. But generally speaking, if my performance is good enough that it's not actively harming the group, then I will not go that extra mile and, you know, do the things of the mythic.
See, I completely disagree with this philosophy. And it's like, this is just something that is a me thing, and this is why I can't enjoy World of Warcraft, is because of this. I don't agree with this at all. I think that, look, if you're playing the game, you need to play the game to be the best that you can possibly be. And that should be achievable without you having to grind until your eyes bleed from exhaustion. That's the way that I see things. I think that, look, if you're going to play a game, specifically an MMO that involves group activities, like an MMO like World of Warcraft involves certain group activities where the success of the team is going to depend sometimes on very small percentages. Like, to give you guys an idea, the first kill that we had in one of the bosses, this was during BFA. During BFA, one of the first it's that boss that just like spams blood on the floor. I forget what the name it is. But we got to the final phase of that boss. And the one thing that separated, you know, us making it and us not making it was one ability that I had at the time. Why did I have that ability? Because I played a monk. Why did I play a monk instead of a warrior? Because let me tell you right now, for those of you that aren't aware, my favorite class in World of Warcraft is the warrior. My favorite thing to play in World of Warcraft is the warrior. I play protection warrior pretty much since I started playing World of Warcraft. When I figured out which class I wanted to be, it was protection warrior, and I've always wanted to play protection warrior every single expansion. But I didn't. Why didn't I play Protection Warrior in BFA? Because the class was hot garbage when I was playing it. So instead of Protection Warrior, I spoke with Q, who is more aware of which class, you know, class balancing at the moment and whatnot. He always knows that stuff. And he told me, monks are doing real good. And I was like, okay, I'll play a monk. So I played a monk, and we were in that instance, and my monk was min-maxed out the ass. And, you know, we had issues. People were dying left and right. The boss was like friggin' millimeters away from dying, but most of our DPS was dead. We had like one healer or something like that. We had like one healer, 2 DPSers or something like that. We had me as the tank, and, you know, that boss has like stacking debuffs and all kinds of mechanics that are just like trouncing the tank, just trouncing him. So there's also a mechanic in there that I remember. There's like these balls of blood, and then if the boss touched the balls of blood, there was an explosion, did AoE damage, murdered everybody. That's why a lot of people were dying in that group. So I'm the last tank alive. We have these 2 DPSers and this one healer. The healer knows he's not going to be able to keep me up. The only reason he's kept me up this much is because I'm playing the monk. Why am I playing the monk? Because I'm min-maxing my role to the maximum possible potential that you can have. That was the only reason I was playing the monk. So the only reason I was still alive at that point is because the monk had a bazillion more survivability than a warrior tank, right? Not to mention, on top of it, had way more tools for kiting around the boss and all of that, okay? So the reason I'm alive is because I'm a monk. And I see that I'm going to die. Like, I was literally seeing like, okay, I can only hold on for this much longer. The healer's not going to be able to keep me up. I am going to die. And I see one of the blood balls coming right at me from behind. So I'm like, okay, the second I die, the blood ball is going to hit the boss. The boss is going to explode in AoE and he's going to kill the whole raid. That's the situation we're in. What do? Because of the fact that I'm playing one of the best tanks that expansion, because I'm min-maxed to that level, I plop down the circle of bullshit, which is what I called it. Because monks basically had this ability. I don't know if they still have it or not, because I'm not playing a monk. I didn't play a monk in Shadowlands. But it was like Sanctuary or whatever it's called. And it's a circle that keeps everything out. So just as I'm about to die, I push the boss away from the blood ball that was going to wipe the raid. I push the boss away. I survive just like a little bit longer. And I keep the boss from doing the massive AoE. And the DPSers had enough time to finish the boss. If I was playing the warrior, I would have died. If my monk was not min-maxed to like hell and back, I would have died. And we would have wiped. Because of the fact that my character was min-maxed out the ass, we survived and we killed the boss. I mean, I died. I still died after I did all that bullshit. I still died. But I was alive long enough that the DPSers were able to kill the boss and nuke it down. So that is my philosophy when you are playing something like World of Warcraft, where there's like 10 other people that are dependent on your performance, is that your character should always be, if it's 1% power gain, you should have it. My philosophy is different for different games. And when it comes to MMOs, it's like, if my character can survive 1% longer, I need to make sure that he can do that. So that's where my philosophy fundamentally differs. Like, I don't believe if you are doing a raid, you should be like, oh, well, I could do this thing that would give me a little bit more health, but I'm not gonna. No, I completely disagree with that. If you're playing an MMO and if you're playing for real, then you should min-max your character to the best of your ability. And this is why I can't play Shadowlands, because it would require me like 20 hours of grind every fucking week to keep up with the stuff that you would have to do in order to truly min-max your character. And it's not peer pressure, Mistral. I don't need people to pressure me into doing it. I pressure myself into doing it. It's that simple. I'm actually curious, Ree, if Blizzard releases Wrath Classic, will you delve into it for nostalgia or nah, fuck it? If Q would play with me, I would consider it. But Q already told me he's not going to play it, so no. I'd love to. I think it'd be fun, but only if I could raid with my friends. And if that's not going to happen, I don't care.
Raiders are going to be doing, because it's not fun.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing, because I don't usually find myself wanting to do a lot of that stuff. And we're not talking about Mike unsubbing as in Preach. It was Mike, the filthy casual, the viewer who's joining us.
That scared me.
But no, I usually don't engage with that stuff too hard, because I know it's just not going to be fun. But there's like very little else to do at the eve of a new patch, so I'm like, I want to log into World of Warcraft. What is there to do? Oh, well, I've already done my 2 Torghast. I've already capped Tower Knowledge, so I'll not go in there anymore. I'll go back to Korthia, do my dailies, do my stuff for player power. And there's a bit of player power. I do want to go pretty hard. I do want to see us take Sylvanas first week normal, and then, work towards Sword.
Yeah. Yeah, that's roughly where I am. I'm not going to push through and do the...
Is someone hammering stuff over there? Like, I keep hearing do, 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 do.
The super, the super stuff, super grindy stuff.
Yeah.
But I will always, not want to let my team down in a big way. And I get there could be, in Mythic, I would not be able to get away with this, and there's a large part why I'm not interested at all in Mythic. But Heroic, it's like I can get by just the very basics and then learning the fights, so that's why it suits me.
That's kind of the annoying thing, because you can just get 220 gear,
Yeah, won't be a problem in this patch anyway, because I'm doing M+. Loads of gear should be fine. We've got from Dark Soul, actually.
And by the way, just to clarify, I'm not saying that anybody should think about the game the same way that I do. I'm saying that's the way that I think about the game. And that's the way that I would play the game if I was playing. And that's why I can't play it.
9669 again, who said, I feel the systems are designed to keep casuals busy chasing rewards they don't need, and is at odds with high-end content getting the most consideration. Casuals are bored, high-end is frustrated. I big agree with that.
Yep.
Because I mean, a lot of this stuff is not great for the casual players. I think the casual players would be better served if they had loads more reps, loads more character customization, a far more dynamic world, all of that stuff.
Very much so.
You know, reasonable ways to get their player power. And then the raiders, I mean, really, they shouldn't have chores. I really think you should just be able to raid log. And
imagine, dude, I'd be playing Shadowlands right now. I would probably be playing Shadowlands right now. If this happened, I would probably be playing Shadowlands. It's like, get rid of these stupid chores, dude. What kind of proof is it that what does it actually contribute to how good I am at raiding or Mythic Plus? If I can prove to you that I can spend 20 fucking hours in a place that's as depressing as the goddamn Maw. Fucking hell. I would literally be more interested, and I'm not even exaggerating, I would literally be more interested in watching paint dry. Like actually look at a wall and look at the paint, like actually go from being all shiny to going dry and document the different phases of that would literally be more interesting to me than jumping into the Maw for 5 minutes.
Then the game has cool things you want to do rather than things that you feel like you need to do. Because if they do that, then they get the raiders really excited to do the casual players content, and the casual players are excited to do the casual players content. And that means just about everybody's really happy with the casual content, which means they can devote more resources to it. Yeah. Instead of those weird situations we have now.
Yeah, it's like imagine, well, this is kind of moot because Legion Fall did exist in Legion and you did grind AP to get your Legion Fall up. But I'm just like, imagine if Argonite stuff actually really mattered to you past a gear level threshold, where you were constantly grinding Argonite the entirety of 7.3, or like we're called nether shards. What they called nether shards, whatever the 7.2 currency was that you spent in like the mage char and stuff. Or even imagine the mage char wasn't just cosmetic and it gave you a big power boost for doing it. That would completely change how those felt, and community sentiment for the mage char would not be so universally positive.
There you go. Big think.
Big think.
Bang on.
Please, Blizzard, have that big think, and then have the big execute on the big think.
That's it. That's what we need.
Please.
I got from the Jamster. Thank you for giving the warning signs for shit patches. Helps a load knowing when to unsub from WoW. This time, even the new Articuno mount won't save them. This is coming from a whale. Oh dear, that means that the Jamsler is not someone Blizzard can afford or want to lose.
Yep. Well, I guess they'll have to give you the Fireplume Phoenix in the same. They'll have to give you Articuno Moltres and maybe even Zapdos in the same 6 months up then.
Yeah, I guess it's that thing, like, if you don't raid or do Mythic Plus and you're kind of just there for the cozy, more casual content, I mean, unless you want to pick up a new Covenant and sort of redo the 9.0 experience, but with, a different campaign, like, sub to this patch for 1 month at like the August or September to see all of that content in 1 month.
Pretty much.
But I even feel for those casual players, I don't think they care about a horse recolor anymore.
No, I mean, like that's the thing that's the thing about Korthia. Like, I've done all outside of the stuff I have to do daily for months. I've seen everything in that zone except for like 1 or 2 things that were time gated from me in one. To be fair, I did play a lot on Wednesday. Yeah, that was like 6 to 8 hours. But that was like 6 to 8 hours, and I've got all the world content squared off in a patch. You're like, that's not reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, you can't expect people to be hyped for going in there and doing more chores. I don't know what Blizzard was expecting, And the more they continue doing this, and the more the longer they stay without addressing the fundamental problems, which is just the amount of systems on top of systems on top of systems for no goddamn reason, that just keep players out, that gate everything. Like, have a bit more confidence in your product. Then again, there's not a whole lot of, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they don't have a lot of confidence in Shadowlands, which is why they need to shackle you to every friggin' system. It's like, no, stay here. We're gonna give you this if you do this thing every week, nonstop. we're gonna give you a little bit. Like, just get rid of all this chore nonsense. Just let people do what is fun. I guarantee you that more people would be happy staying subbed for World of Warcraft if Blizzard would not force them to do nonsense. Just don't force players to do stupid things. It's not that hard.